welcome to Hideaway. Will you now please welcome to the stage Mr. Honey Vibes himself, Lovers rock legend, Peter Hunnigale.
Are you good? I can't hear. Are you good? Oh, yeah. Na, 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 na. Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. I got your message on the phone this morning. Yeah, I know you tried to call last night. Well, I ain't trying to arouse suspicion, but it was certain things were on my mind. Like your precious friend around the corner says that you ain't being true to me. Well, I thought that you and her were best friends, but she made that very hard to believe. Oh, I said, yeah, yeah. Is this love or am I being misled? I said, I think I'm going out of my head. Is this love or am I being misled? Listen, Sunday night while I was chilling at Jackie's, someone said they saw your Jeep outside. They said they thought they saw me right there beside you, but instead it was another guy. Whoa. So that there can be no misunderstanding, can you tell me what the hell's going on? 'Cause I don't ever want a reason to doubt you, but I can rest until this matter is solved. You say for me, I think I'm going out of my head. Is this love or am I being misled? I said I think I'm going out of my head. Is this love or am I being misled? Being misled. Oh yeah. It didn't occur that you could be unfaithful to me. No, I never told you lies, never made you cry. I don't wanna believe that you're out there messing around with any other guys. Can you tell me like that? I said I think I'm going out of my head. Is this love or am I being misled? I said I think I'm going out of my head. Is this love or am I being misled? I said I think I'm going out of my head. Is this love or am I being misled?
Keeping it real with Rudi Lickwood, the topical interactive chat show every Monday night 8:30 p.m. with special guests and you the audience. Comedy with Rudi Lickwood. This event is brought to you by Comedy Hotspot. Don't forget, keeping it real with Rudi Lickwood.
Though I think I'm going out of my head, yeah. Though I think I'm going out of my head, yeah. Me could have take Peter place, you know. Me could have take Peter. Take him on anytime. If you say my Hunnigale, sing like a bird, sing like a bird. Thank you for joining me on Keep It Real. My name's Rudi Lickwood. I'm the host of this show. And I'm very proud that I managed to get hold of one of the kings of Lovers Rock comedy. And I say king with no hesitation at all, man. So allow me to waste no... What do you mean, nobody, Mr. Rudi? What do you mean, nobody? You know, like, see the way me sing? You know, like the way me sing. Me can sing it up. Sing like a hummingbird. Hummingbird. No, I don't think. I think this brother's voice is very distinctive. Please, please give him a nice round of applause as I bring on Mr. Peter Hunningale. Give it up, 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 give it up for the brother. Peter, man, thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, Rudi? You all right?
I'm not too bad, man. Thank you for doing the interview in the first place, because I know you're a busy character. I know that you're a busy man, and you're not the easiest guy to track down.
No, as I was told earlier on today.
Yeah. So what do you keep yourself? Do you distance yourself from your fans and that? Do you just keep a little distance, or do you allow them right in? How do you go about that?
I don't know. I think I'm a pretty much sociable person. You know, I mean, I really love people. You know, but I mean, at the end of the day, I have to deal with a tremendous amount of people. And yeah, and it's not just here in the UK, it's globally, you know, it's right around the globe. So sometimes, you know, you might be on project work with people from different, you know, parts of the world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to kind of keep things real. You know, you might get the call, you might get a few people might link you here, and you can respond and hook up with them when you can.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the business that I'm in, you know. Yeah.
Well, it has been said. George
so it's like
George has told us that you're quite a humble geezer until him dep on the table tennis table.
Yes.
I want
to tell you the truth. I haven't played table tennis since I was a youngster. I hail from the Brixton Hill area, and so my secondary school I used to go to was Tulse Hill. So it was them, you know, Tulse Hill Comprehensive. So it would have been there when I've had my table tennis exploits. There's me as a little baby there. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you always,
you know,
have you always lived Tulse Hill side? Is that where you've always been born and raised?
Yeah, Brixton is more or less my neighborhood and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Brixton is my neighborhood, and I've grown it up in and around Brixton, you know, your Loughborough Junctions, you know, your Herne Hills and stuff like that, you know. So yeah, that's been my my area where I've grown up and stuff. Yeah.
So considering that you're from Brixton Hill, how did this happen? What happened there?
Right. Arsenal. I guess Arsenal represented more of the community where we come from. Cause we don't have Brixton United still. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So Arsenal was like the next thing, you know what I mean, that we could support as a team. And as you probably know, is Tipper and I did a song for Arsenal. I think it was 1994 Coca-Cola Cup double with Manchester United. And we was asked to say again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go on. I didn't know that.
Yeah. We done a song called "Shouting for the Gunners," so some people would know it still.
Shouting for the Gunners.
Shouting for the. I know that you know we're shouting for the Gunners. It got just outside top 40 in the charts. Okay. You know, yeah, and it was released through London Records. You know, yeah. So there's that association. We were associated with Arsenal Football Club because of that. That time, Ian Wright and all the lads were there. You know, Seaman and all those guys was in the team and stuff. You know, we recorded. I did the bass recording at home where I used to have my recording studio, and then I did the bass recording, like music. Then Tipper and I wrote the lyrics. And then we got it up on the radio stations, you know, local radio stations, and you know, other people heard it and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then it got to a point where the team got involved, you know. Okay. And so, if you're here on the actual record, it is the Arsenal football team singing on it as well.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. All the lads are on it. Yeah, I had some pictures from that time, but they've gone missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So they've all gone missing and stuff. But yeah, I've still got the recording on the voice, on the 24 track 2-inch tape, So yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, oh no, it looks like you've got quite a few supporters in there. Jemmy Reese is shouting out Gooners. He's shouting out.
Gooners! The thing about it is, I don't have the time to be a mad, football fanatic every week and watch all the things. But I do like the tournaments.
Okay.
And we've just finished the Euros here, and I will watch, the tournaments. I mean, my daughter would say, "Dad, you don't watch football." I say, "Yes, that's true." Yeah, DJ Mr. Fix It, bless up. I'm gonna say yes, baby, because obviously they grow up with their dad, But I'm saying but when the tournament come around, you go watch the tournaments, You don't have to be an avid watch the Premier League every week and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely when you got the tournaments, different countries playing and stuff like that, it really adds to the excitement. And within saying that, I must say well done to the players from the England squad. For achieving and getting as far as they did. Really good. It's a really good revelation for these young athletes and stuff, and obviously for Mr. Gareth Southgate, for being maverick in his decisions and, things that he did, So well done to them all. I can only wish them all the best, Yeah.
I think that's all we really can do. But it's a shame the way that it's actually turned out. In the end, because I know that genuinely you were upset with the way in which Mr. Rashford took the penalty.
Why did he do that? Hop, skip and jump. This is a serious competition. I love Saka, and I'm Saka, young Saka, young Saka. My heart goes out for him. And I was trying to avoid the TV today and the news and everything else.
Of course.
He was the last person that took the goal. He seems to be the one that seems to be shown all the time. Right. And I'm saying, no, I love young Saka. He's a breath of fresh air. Well done. And I don't say he missed because his shot was on target. It's just that the goalkeeper saved it. And that's what goalkeepers supposed to do. And so my love for Saka is well up there. I say keep it only at that big man, you did us proud. But for the other two, who would have had more experience, especially Rashford, it's beyond many people, I spoke to today. They can't understand, why did you do that hop, skip and jump thing? You take out all the energy out of your shot when you do that. And it gives the goalkeeper time to read what you're doing. And that's then true. The thing about it is he hit the post. So really the goalkeeper never even have to do nothing. Could I put him 2 hands in my pocket and watch the thing and nothing, You understand? So I am really annoyed with that. That was really not a sensible thing to do.
Because there are a lot of people out there who would say that I don't support Britain. I'm not Britain. I don't support England. Yeah,
that's right.
For obvious reasons, especially for the way in which they conduct themselves, the way they behave.
What is that?
That's a firework, bro.
Up in a guy's ass.
No, it's all right, man. This is keep it real. You understand? And
I never saw that, man.
This is in Leicester Square. You never saw that?
No.
Listen, man, there was some madness going on. Madness was going on.
I saw this. This was bad. This was bad. I saw that. I saw that was terrible. That was terrible. And I would expect that more to come from, say, like probably a music concert. You get some music concerts that can get out of hand sometimes.
Right.
And I would never expected that of something like that happening at Wembley. But I think maybe the authorities probably should have thought a little bit more about it. They must have known. Well, I'm not going to blame them, but because it's down to people's conduct at the end of the day and how they behave, Yeah. But bless up, Lloyd. But
what I find is that the true nature of Caucasian, our Caucasian family tends to come out during football. I mean,
Yeah.
Here we have, like you said, the youngsters who went ahead and took those penalties. All right, they missed. But when the going is good, you know what they're like. When the going is good, the going is good. But when it now got them where?
Yeah. Oh,
them the switch,
brother. It's like almost. It feels like it set black people back 10 years. Now I'm a black man, so I'm not gonna cuss them for the color of their skin. You know what I mean? At all. I think my beef is in terms of a sport and a tournament. I think the decision that one particular player made was really poor. You know, I think Marcus Rashford. Why did you do this? I just all day long I keep on saying, why did you do this? You know, why did you try and score a goal like that? You know, it's a serious thing to run up. Do you want do what you when it works? It's brilliant, but when it goes wrong, you're in a trouble for sure. Jeremy Reese, yeah, for sure. You know, and he left. He took all the power out of his shot, and the thing hit the post. In a major tournament like this, you're doing that. You know, come on, man. You know, but for Saka, bless his heart. You know, go for it, big man. You know, I mean, supporting you all the way. You know,
and the thing is, he's only 19. I mean, my thing was, why didn't the more senior players? I mean, I got a feeling Sterling didn't go up there because Sterling knew.
He knew
what he knew that if he knew what was going to come if they missed. Because I looked at Rashford's face, right, when not Sacco. Who's the other brother? Is it Sacco?
Sancho
took the penalty. Did you see his face? The way that he turned and he cringed, it was like, oh my God, it was like, you know what's going to happen now, innit? You know what's going to happen. And Rashford knew that he missed.
When from I see Rashford missed the way he did, I was BEX, not VEX. You know, like Bex.
Bex, yeah.
Bex. With the Bex. I'm saying to myself, why did he do this? You know what I mean? And from there, it just went downhill. You know, and I say to Rashford, you're the one with the most experience out of the three of them.
Yeah.
You know, why would you have done this? You know what I mean? He kind of made himself look stupid. Now, lest you forget all the good things he has done for getting young kids meals at school meals.
Just putting food in their belly.
That little man, that young man, say Marcus Rashford, turned the world around.
Yeah.
Something they need to give Marcus more time on the field. True. George Williams, true. That's another thing that's being said, as George said, you know, Rashford should have been given more time on the pitch, not just taken out to play penalties. But within saying that, if you know you got 2 minutes to make your light shine, please make your light shine. Don't go out there and farm the puppy show. Get it on, you know what I mean? Get it on. And he must have known that half of the country is watching you, bruv. You know what I mean?
The whole of the country was watching. Because if there's one thing that football does do, is it galvanizes nations. It brings them all together. I mean, it's like when Africa won the World Cup. You understand?
Yes.
It galvanized the whole of France. Yeah?
Yes.
I mean, all of the players were African. We all knew that. But, you know, the world is your oyster. You belong to the world. You don't belong to a nation. You belong to the world. So as far as I'm concerned, everything is supposed to belong to you. But because of what happened in 1835, I think it was, where they decided that they was going to carve up Africa and split everything amongst themselves, is why the world is so fragmented in this way. But the thing is that this is about you, Mr. Hunningale. This is about you.
Yes.
Yeah? I'm not gonna apologize for starting off with the football. It's just something.
No, not at all. It's been the topic of the day. It's been the topic. I've been speaking to clients throughout the day today, and one or two of the clients have been feeling like really depressed.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And he's another colleague as well. He said, Peter, man, I'm vexed. God, I'll tell you the truth, Peter, man. Boy, it's not broken. You know,
I mean, what are the feelings with people in the comments there? What are your feelings about today's match? I mean, I know we've got George's opinion and Lloyd's, and we've got Jemmy Reese's, but I know there's ladies in the chat room as well, because you're very much a ladies' man. You are very much a ladies' man. Most men, when you come on the stage, they put handcuffs on their wives' wrists, right? When you hit the stage, the car, you know.
I've
They
been
know I-
threatened and everything in my time. You know, you stay away from my woman. You know. You know, about you know.
can believe-
OMG, the footy, Liz Harvey. Hi, Liz.
Oh, it's good to have this young lady in the room. Peter, could you please say hello to Vicky for me?
Good evening,
Vicky.
Vicky. Hi, Vicky. How
I'm
are
hoping
you?
I'm hoping that Vicky's at home. She might be in hospital at the moment, so she may be watching
bless
from
her.
hospital. You know.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
it's
hope
nice.
all is well with you, Vicky. You know, bless you. You know, thanks for logging on and coming in on the show this evening. Pleasure to meet you. Yeah, for sure.
Now, there's one thing that a lot of people may not know about you is I was introduced to you. I most really saw you, but I was actually introduced to you as a solo artist. Yeah. That's how the brand Peter Hunningale came to me. Yeah. But unbeknown to a lot of people, I'm sure, that's not how you started out in the industry.
No, I was when you say solo, you mean like a vocalist, right?
Yeah, sorry, vocalist.
Yeah,
sorry, that's the correct word, vocalist. Yes.
Yeah. No, I was a musician first. I was a musician. I used to play guitar and bass, you know, for when in my early years, you know. And I used to play bass for the Chosen Few and Pioneers, you know, the old bands, you know. Well, not I say the Pioneers because I remember them from in the 60s. Chosen Few obviously came later. But you know, it got to a time in my life where I was all grown up. Those bands were still going on, and then I was hired as a musician to play bass with them on their tours here in the UK. So I'm a musician before I'm a singer. You know, I was more known for playing my guitar and bass and them things there.
So, what did you play? Both the bass and the sixth string, or?
Right, the sixth string in the studios. Because we are like a session unit. When I say we, I'm talking about people like myself, my colleague Fitzroy Blake. We were all young then, and there's a few other main protagonists in the industry who are now older guys like me. But we all started when we was young. You know, Trevor Fagan.
Now, Trevor, 1 second, because Trevor Drums Fagan, we interviewed him on this show, Keep It Real, and he was with the Rough Cut Band. He's now
correct.
With the Rough Cut Band. So a lot of you in the comments will remember Trevor, Drummy, from before, who Peter is making reference to, and Fitzroy. No doubt, Mr. Blake has played a major role in the way that you developed, because as you before that you was actually following the reggae, the sound systems, yeah.
Yeah, well, that was growing up in my neighborhood in Brixton. We were exposed to many of the sound systems. The culture of the sound system was big in Brixton. So that sounds like Coxsone, you know, Soprano, BD Eunice, you know, Tubbies, original Tubbies, you know. And when I was a kid, my neighborhood sound, which was again Brixton, but my age and stuff, Wappy King.
Wappy King. How many on the index I know Wappy King? Say a lot of them don't know Wappy King. They don't know about Wappy King. No, they don't know Wappy King.
And DeRasco, you know what I mean? Yeah, and DeRasco was the other sound, you know what I mean? And every Friday. Stereograph, George Williams, Stereograph, yeah, bless you. Stereograph came later. Stereograph was a break off from Soprano B. So you had Chaba, you had Neville, you know, you had Fitz used to play the sound as well. So yeah, Stereograph, you know, wicked sound. I love Stereograph for sure. You know, every now and again I speak to Chaba, you know. But yes, Stereograph, you know. So, but Stereograph wasn't around in time. I'm talking about the time in the 70s, you know.
Yeah, no, educate them, man. Some of them,
George is quoting up Frontline. Frontline came later, George. That's Trevor and Natty. They used to live across the road from me in Brixton when I had my first flat. You know,
George, you're showing your age. Put your nappy back on, man. Put your nappy back on, yeah.
No, George is right. Frontline came later though. Frontline was much later. Yeah. Okay. But that was Trevor and Natty. you know, and like I say, they used to live across the road from me where my first flat was, and they were some of the most loveliest days of my young life when I had my first flat, you know. Danny King, you got lawyer Danny King, that's correct. Danny King was a big sound them time, you know. You had Danny King, you had Neville King, you had TWJ, which is Tony Williams. Remember Tony Williams? His sound was called TWJ. But yeah, Danny King was a big sound, you know what I mean? We used to love Danny King. Also Neville King, you know what I mean? They was the sounds of my young youth. Jewel Creed, Jewel Creed. Yeah, he's going back. George knows what he's saying there.
George is just digging. George is just digging. Don't worry. The Alzheimer's soon kicking, Panjaj. Don't worry. The Alzheimer's soon kicking, Panjaj. You just wake him up out of the grave. Me I tell you. You bring him out. You bring him out. Bless, man. Bless. You bring him out. You bring him out. So the thing is that you was a youth them time there, and what silkscreen printing was the foundation in terms of your work, getting that, just having a little money coming in and stuff. You was a silkscreen printer, yeah.
When I left school, that you know, them time used to have apprenticeships, you know, and I got a little apprenticeship as a silkscreen printer. You know, you could used to print T-shirts and banners and stuff, you know, and yeah, so I did that as my first apprenticeship from school. You know what I mean? We went to a kind of a tough school. If people know South London, they would have probably known of Tulsa School, which was a comprehensive.
Okay, because I think I can't be 100% sure. I think Curtis Walker went to that school as well. I think he went.
If he did, he would have been. He wouldn't have been in my year.
Curtis is younger than you. He's much younger than you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I can't remember.
I'm sure he is. He's much younger, but I think he did. Possibility that even Kwaku might have passed through. I'm not sure.
Kwaku. I don't think Kwaku did, but Kwaku's family, right? If we're talking about the Gales,
that's who we're talking about. Danny and all of them. Yeah,
it's a huge family. Because there's Martin, they've got another brother as well. How can I forget Martin's brother's name? Who were very, very talented. When I was at Tulsa, one used to play the violin and the other one used to play piano. And we used to gather around them two youth because they was talented. We don't know where them get them skills from. You know what I mean? At that time when we was young, because we never really see anything like that. Black youths who can bless your heart, John. Thank you, John. Yeah, John Ryan, bless your heart. It was amazing to see young black talented guys, you know, who can play violin and play piano. And I remember in our spare time we used to gather around them. And the Gale family is a big family, as you know, Lorna Gale. So you'd have, you know, huge family, you know, much talented family for sure.
So when you was around them, so it's like. So what was music always around you, or was you a church brother? Did you go to church? How did you gravitate towards the music?
I think music was a big thing, Rudy. I was lucky to be born in the 60s, coming through, watching the birth of music evolve from, you know, from all that some of your listeners might know, even Jim Reeves, Fats Domino, the Blue Beat era, you know.
Akabil
was Stranger on the Shore. Big tune, you know, but that was in the pop tune. But everybody used to love that tune. It was just so solemn in the way it came across, you know, a lovely tune, Akabil, you know, Stranger on the Shore. But we came through in a time where music was revolutionary. You know, we had everything from, you know, Desmond Decker to Bob and Marcia to the Monkees to the Beatles, Rolling Stones. You know what I mean? You grew up in a cross wave of all these musical genres, and being raised here in the UK, you was exposed to pop music in a big way. And my folks are from Jamaica, so you know that influence from the American R&B to the blue beat that was recorded in Jamaica and all them things there. You know, you just caught up in this whole sort of like cornucopia of all different music styles, genres. And I don't know where my love for music comes from, but I know as a child, vocationally, you know, as a vocation, I knew that's what I wanted to do, you know. So
So
yeah, I
what?
guess I'm a collision course.
So then, what parish was your family from? What parish in Jamaica?
Well, do you know a place called Trelawney? You know Trelawney?
I've heard of Trelawney. I don't.
Trelawney.
I'm not Jamaican, by the way. I'm actually
Okay.
Guyanese. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
that's cool,
So
man. That's cool.
no,
That's cool.
I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that because
No, yeah, for sure.
I know
Yeah,
there's
some people.
I know there's a
Some
lot of
people come,
yardies in there. I know there's a lot of yardies in my comment section. That's what I'm saying.
Jamaica is full up with small little areas, you know. Like so we come from a place called Redland Gate in Trelawney.
Okay.
Yeah, Guyana. Senator Crew, yes, Guyana, bless up Guyana. Yeah, so we come from an area called Redland Gate, you know. I mean, it's a small, you know, little area, and when we say bridge, we don't mean bridge, we mean just like one little small place, you know.
Okay. So
But
did your mum used to take you there like when you was a little youth there, or was it something that where you went to sort of like later on? Is it some place?
when you went to later on, life in the 60s was a bit hard, a bit difficult, and you know, you didn't really get to go home or go back to, you know, where your folks will come from until later on, you know what I mean? Because I've got older siblings in Jamaica, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, and you know, obviously you see them when you was young, you got your pictures and stuff. I said, well, I've got, you know what I mean? Link with my bigger brother and stuff, you know? And they do that later on in life, you know, most of us. And if you know West Indian life as a whole, and I don't know if it's an outcome of post-slavery or how we came together as communities and stuff, you know.
Tell us what your thoughts. Tell us what your thoughts are in terms of how you think we kind of developed, because it would be interesting to know what you actually went through during that period of time between like going to the youth center, and then going and then getting into work for the first time, having to traverse that thing of going home from youth center, the racist bigots you most probably might have encountered, I don't know, along the way. What was life like for you them time there?
Yes, well, all right. You know, coming from apart from the Jamaica thing, growing up here in Brixton, we were a very small community. You think it big, but now you know it was a very small community. You know, when I mean small, it's where a huge gathering of black people were felt safe and secure in. And believe it or not, in the 70s, and I dare say even before that, you know what I mean, even though you lived in Brixton, there were certain like boundaries you need to be careful of, you know. Blessing Sonia. Yes, Sonia, bless your heart, Sonia. Yeah, bless your heart. Bless your heart. There's certain boundaries, even living in Brixton. You know, I remember, you know, we used to go Friday night club where obviously, as I mentioned before, Wappy King and Diraska used to play and stuff. And club used to finish at 11 o'clock and stuff, you know. And like I live in Brixton Hill, you know, and you can know not too far out of your area, if some of the youths them had to go home, you couldn't walk home on your own. Because, you know, you get white guys will be perambulating, you know, looking for vulnerable black guys coming home to, you know what I mean? You know, yeah, Summer Leighton Road, Guinness Trust Estate. Yeah, Sir George there. Yeah, I know Summer Leighton Road. White guys will be out there looking for you to give you ass whooping.
Okay.
You know? It's like, you know, in certain parts of Loughborough, although I was my area where I was actually born was Loughborough Junction, which is next door to Brixton. So Brixton's here, Loughborough's here. And in certain areas inside of Loughborough, you have to be careful. You know, certain places like Streatham, you had to be careful. You know, back in them years there, you know what I mean? You could walk up and down, but you have to be careful. You know, George just quoted Summer Leighton Road, Guinness Trust here. He would remember Geneva Road then. And all them places there, Summerlet Road, Geneva Road, that's back in the 60s.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
They seemed as though they really want to talk to you tonight, Peter. Jesus Christ.
Okay. Inside your perfect lady too, can you say long? Records the book. Bless your heart, Carolyn. Samuda Simmons. Bless your heart, sister. Thank you for that message. I have to say big up. She's just saying that she saw me at a funeral in Tooting a couple of years ago. I wonder if that was is a young girl. It sounds like Dion. We must have went to, you know. She's not my daughter, but she's like my daughter because I raised her, you know. She's my daughter's key virgin. I think that's what Carolyn is referring to.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
Did that, yeah.
Because you did ask what inspired you to write Perfect Lady.
Perfect Lady was we used to make rhythm tracks. You know, we were session musicians. You know, Fitzroy and I used to do all the bass guitars and stuff, and you know, and Fitzroy used to do all the mixing. Fitzroy Blake, who is Commander B's brother, you know, and we used to do music productions. And so I built this rhythm track, you know, the rhythm track to Be My Lady, but I hadn't quite written the lyrics. And I remember hitting down to Brixton one day and saw some young ladies down there. And I said, "Oh, that's Peter Hunnigale." This was in my early days, you know, so it was brand new for me for people to know who I was, you know, because I had a little local name, you know, people knew that there's this guy Peter Hunnigale in the area who could sing. And I remember these girls saying, "Don't sing for me, sing for me." And I didn't actually have anything to say apart from say, "Oh, bless your heart, thank you, you know, for the love and stuff." But that was an inspiration for me, you know. When we got back to the studio, we got back to Fitzroy's house because we used to have the studio up at Fitzroy's. You know, I said, "Boy, you know, I think I got some lyrics for that rhythm track I built, you know." And so was built Be My Lady. If I could give the world to you, heaven knows that I really would now. 'Cause you're like the morning sun that shines so bright in my
life.
Yeah.
Come on, let me harmonize you. Let me harmonize you. I beg you, don't let me You know what,
Won't
Peter?
you be my lady?
But you know what, Peter? When I see those three man, then you got three brothers who does always do the harmonizing and thing for you, yeah. And I always despise them, man. I feel like to go up and just kick one of them off the stage and replace him. I feel like to replace him, and I'm like, we could have stand up there so with Peter and I sing, you know.
Well, that was Clearview Harmonics. That was Clearview Harmonics. We don't really work together again, but they never sung on the records. They never sung on any of my records. They was only used for the shows. So you know, yeah, there was. So you're right, Rudy. Still, it's just for the shows when we used to do. Casway, just love that tune. Bless your heart, Kaz. Yeah, Mark Newman. Yeah, 95% of the harmonies. Bless your heart. What you mean, my lady? That's Carolyn. 95% of the harmonies on all my records is me do them.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all Peter Hunnigale's, you know what I mean? And obviously, because we're studio background, so we layer the harmonies, you know. So I do like da 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 type of thing harmonies, you know. We can left and right pan the harmonies as well, so you build up the body. But it's I do it. Many people do it, but a lot of the listening audience don't realize the person who's singing it is the person who's actually doing the harmonies.
Okay.
You know, not all. Yeah, there's 4 in a row. That's Georgia just mentioned 4 in a row, which I believe was Tex Johnson, Dennis Pinnock. Forgive me if I can't remember the other 2 lads. Yeah, there was another 2. That's 4 in a row, 4 of them. You know, I've got 3 fingers up there.
You got 3 fingers. I was going to say that. No, man, you're doing really well, Peter, because you're traversing the questions that I'm asking you, and you're related to the comment section. So you're very used to actually conversing with your audience, even throughout. I notice even when you sing, you still find the space to talk to the audience. You sing and you still find space within. Yeah. You find the space to just reach out and always touching them, and then going back into the tune. I noticed that with you.
Well, you know, it's like it's the interactiveness. You know, the one thing, the buck stops with the audience.
Okay.
You know. Rudy, leave it alone. The That's what's the message there. The buck stops with the audience, you know what I mean? When I make records, yes, I make something that I feel, but also got to think about the output and to how the audience is going to listen to it. And it means overall, it means an interactiveness that you have to have with your audiences. You know, some artists are brilliant artists and they're very quiet in the way they react. They interact with their audience, and nothing's wrong still. It's just who they are,
different
you know.
style,
They're
different
brilliant
styles.
artists, you know what I mean? Lovely, you know.
But the thing is though, Peter, is that you never intentionally thought about Lovers Rock, because when you told me that you and well, I'll get the name in a minute, Fitzroy, used to go down into the West End.
Waldorf Street.
And Waldorf, that's it, in Waldorf Street. Yeah. And it was more reggae music that you thought you were producing at the time, if I'm correct.
Correct. We didn't go out to make Lovers Rock music, you know, because we didn't grow in Lovers. When I was a young man, there was no such thing. There was barely reggae. We had blue beats, ska, rock steady, you know what I mean? And then you come up in the late 60s and stuff, you know, which is more reggae. Bob and Marcia, you know, Young, Gifted and Black, Upsetters, Liquidator, and all those songs that was helping to really inspire this sense of reggae that was coming through. And there was tons of reggae records around at the time in the 60s, you know, early reggae rhythms coming, you know. But majority that transition from the 60s, so you'd hear blue beat and ska and all these different genres. The development of reggae never really pushed through till the later 60s, you know what I mean? So that's what we know, you know what I mean? What we used to do, because we love music all the time, we try to emulate what we hear coming from Jamaica, you know, try and master the rhythm chip and them thing. And as we were saying last night, we've got certain of the factors wrong,
right? Because
how we used to hear the music, you know, but nonetheless, we kind of tried to follow through what we thought and sort of like interpret what we heard as reggae coming from, you know, our parents' background, i.e. being Jamaica and stuff, you know. And I got Carol Samuda Simmons question: what is your favorite duet and who was it with? Let me finish up, Caroline.
Yeah. Finish off, bro.
Yeah, so Fitzroy and I would go to, and a few other people as well, would go to Waldorf Street, because Fitzroy is my year senior. Fitzroy, we keep on mentioning Fitzroy, and I know he's not here, but a lot of people would be familiar with Commander B. Well, Fitzroy Blake is Commander B's eldest brother.
Okay.
You know?
And tie all of that into your name, please do. Because honey vibe, tie it all in, Tipper, everything, tie it all in.
No, Tipper wasn't part of Vibes Corner. But what happened was, you know, as we was talking, Fitzroy was an engineer at Waldorf Street, D Wolf Studios, and in actual fact he was a tape op, so he's a year my senior, so he left school before me. So what used to happen, they used to give him free time on the weekends to do what he wants to do in the studio. And it's a proper professional studio. I don't know if you remember cartoons like Rhubarb and stuff. What Fitzroy used to do is strap up the audio tape to those visuals. Okay. And we had different type of machines back in the day, you know what I mean? You have to syncopate the audio tapes, you know. So D Wolf is a full-on professional studio, so we was exposed to a professional environment, you know, from the giddy up, from when we was at school. Where the Honey Vibes comes from was Fitzroy eventually left Waldorf Street, and he got together with some guys, Raymond Simpson and Jimmy Simpson, you know. Some people might know Raymond Simpson, who sung the tune "Is It Always Gonna Be Like This" with Claudia Fontaine, the reggae version to it. Yeah, that's
sure everyone knows it.
Yeah. Bad tune, you know, released on JB Records, you know. I mean, Claudia and Raymond Simpson. Well, Raymond Simpson and his brother them had built a studio in their flat. Right. Fitzroy was the engineer there, so Fitzroy built up all the equipment, built the little patch bay and everything else like that. And that environment was called Vibes Corner. Now, so obviously we left the Wolf and was in our own little environment now, and I was playing, like I say, guitar from school. You know, we had Barrington Levine on drums. Raymond Simpson was like a bassman and piano man and guitar man, you know. And we'd have people, local people, come in and do other things. Oh man, why they can't play piano? You know, what call him in, make him come lick a piano for 1 night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we had Karen Wheeler came down. She visited us, you know. Claudia Fontaine, rest in peace. Bless that sister's heart. She's a complete giant. You know what I mean? Rest, you know, rest in peace still. And we had a few people come through there. Al Campbell would know me before a lot of people know me in this industry, because Al used to come to Vibes Corner and do dubs for Stereograph Sound, who George mentioned earlier on. You know what I mean? Them times that Al, you know what I mean, used to come from Jamaica, come over and used to chill out with Stereograph Sound. I used to do dubs there and everything, you know what I mean? And so yeah, and so because I was part of Vibes Corner, because that was the name of that thing, I was given the name Peter Honey Vibes, you know, and that was by Commander B. Honey Vibes, yeah, Commander, and so that's where the name Honey Vibes comes from, you know what I mean?
Lovely story. So here's the tune, the first tune that you dropped, yeah.
That's Reggae Max, Peter Hunnigale. Have I got
the wrong one? Hold on. No, it's not. That's not the one I want.
No.
This is the one I want.
In the meantime, let me answer that question for Carolyn. What is your favorite duet, and who was it with? So I imagine that she's talking about my duet, who I sung with. Me and Carol Thompson did a nice duet, which was a cover version. If This World Was Mine, which was Marvin Gaye. I think Marvin Gaye, Diana Ross, could be wrong, who'd sung that. Who else have I done duets with? I mean, although it's not in a love sense a duet, but Tipper Irie is my brethren, my colleague, who I do singing, and he does a DJ. So in the form, that's a duet. Me and Paul Ectasia has got a duet on one of my LPs, Back to the Old School, and that was nice. Paul Ectasia's got a nice voice. And I've done a few duets. We've done international duets as well, but people won't know some of those people here in this country. You know, Arabella from Germany and stuff, like, you know.
In fact, tell us about your journey into Germany, because that was the first time you went out. You went abroad, if I'm correct.
That time wasn't. I'd already been going back and forward to Germany at that time. But my first encounter with Germany was through Michael Mowat, who was then Chosen Few. And like I said earlier on in my career, I used to play bass with him because I was a musician first before I was a singer. When I was Be My Lady, I was already a bassist for the Pioneers and the Chosen Few, and we used to do all their gigs here throughout the UK, you know. And it was Michael Mowat who said, Peter, I'm going to send it to Germany. I'm going to hook you up with a friend of Michael, Matthew, and he's got a band called Oshama. And they're a tribute band from way back in the 60s, you know what I mean, and whatever. And they want a bass man, and I'm sending you over there. Okay. And that was my first encounter in Germany. And we played Munchen. You know, I can't remember what year it is. I got some photos downstairs. I should try and look at some of the dates and stuff when I was there. But that was my first encounter.
But it was hard work. You said it was hard work. 4x4?
445s.
Yeah.
So that we used to play something like 4 45 minutes or 4-hour shows every day, every evening.
Right.
You know, every evening. So, you know, most here now you see one show and it lasts an hour and stuff. And if we do PAs, it's about half an hour and you're done. If you're doing a live show, you do probably about an hour and you're done. Well, we used to do that. Yes, Rudy, German people are good people still. Yeah, for sure. Yes, Rudy, German. Yes. Just to say to Miss Sugar, I've traveled, and I'm not going to be naive, right? But I've traveled north, west, east, and south in Germany. and then people have treated me beautifully. And I know there's racial issues in Germany. Some people say, no, man, they don't. But no.
But the Germans, believe it or not, during World War II, there was black people living in Germany while it was all kicking off.
Yes, it was all kicking off. I think one of my favorite European countries is Germany for sure. There's no two ways about it. And there's many times I said, if Germany's climate was something like Spain's climate, because I played up and down Spain as well.
Okay.
I'd be living in Germany because the people there are just so beautiful, and they've always treated me well there, always.
Because I think it's funny how we have to come back to the football, because we have to understand that the issue with Germany is not with black people. The issue with Germany is with England. And the only reason why they have their issue with Germany in the first place. That's all. It's all that. And the worst thing about it is that the Queen is German, right?
Yeah,
but which is in England.
Was German, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And there's all that confusion going on, which has got nothing to do with us. In truth, it's got nothing to do with us. It's a European argument, really and truly. It's a European argument, you know. But tell us about your travels around Europe, because you just now mentioned Spain.
Well, yes, Spain was another thing, you know. Was another thing. But going back, I think we was talking about Germany just before, and you know, some of my best experience was there. And going back to what we was talking about earlier with the 445s, we used to. Yes, my half German still. Bless you, Miss Sugar. You come from a lovely, lovely country. Trust you me. Right. So we used to do sort of like play 4:45 to 4 1-hour shows every evening. So as a bass man, you know, I remember I had got to a point where I had to sellotape my fingertips with plasters, you know, because of the blisters. You played so much shows in the day, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And they were back in the day where you really used to work every day. You'd play 4:45s, you know, or 4 1-hour shows each evening. So you might start from about 6 o'clock. You do your first hour, have a little break, you know what I mean, and whatever. If you used to smoke them time, then you have a little fag of, you know what I mean, and have a little drink, you know, and then you're back on stage again for another hour, 45 minutes, another hour, and then you stop, and then you have your dinner and stuff like that, and you let that settle and that's finished, and then you go back on stage for another hour. And by the time you finish in the evening, it'd be all like midnight and stuff like that, 1 o'clock, because sometimes the club didn't close till late. There's a place called Music Box, you know, in Munich, but in Germany you say München. So we used to do that, and I was there for just under 2 weeks, doing that every day. And as I was mentioning to you, you know, I remember one night we had done our 4-hour sets, 4:45 sets, and getting up into the morning because we had to go to the TV to film the band Oshama, you know, and then, you know, we was really all tired, crunk. By the time we left the TV station, we just said, look, we might as well just go back to work, you know, and do the whole cycle again, the full for But it was an experience I would never trade in for anything. It was a beautiful experience, and we was young, you know. So yeah, that was the idea, the 4:45s you was referring to, you know. And I think any musician worth their salt, and especially come through the years I came through, would have and should have done stuff like that. It's hard work, but if you're a musician that you actually love what you're doing, that's what you do, you know. You just get on, you just tape up your fingertips. Yeah.
So then tell everybody about the transition that took place for you where you became a solo artist. How did that come about?
Well, it was during that time, you know, I was like, it was kind of like weird because I was playing bass and stuff for all these bands, and we were session musicians. I'm a session musician, Fitzroy's an engineer, so our craft came from in the studio. We did the studio and stuff. So we're still producing songs whilst, you know what I mean, I was out gigging and doing the bass playing for Chosen Few and Pioneers and the like, you know. When the transition came, like I said, you know what I mean, Fitzroy and I were still doing productions. And I had this rhythm track, Be My Lady, and as I mentioned earlier on, you know, got back to Fitzroy, I said, well, I got some lyrics, you know, And we had a couple of songs before, like, you know, Giving Myself Away, but Be My Lady was the one that really brought me through. And so anyway, I put my voice on the rhythm track we had built, you know, which was the song Be My Lady. And we put it out there. By this time, we had our own record label called Street Vibes, you know,
Okay.
Musically Apprenticeship. Yeah, for sure, George. Bless. You know, and by this time, Fitzroy and I had our own record label, which was inspired by Fitzroy, wanted his own record label. So we said, okay, you know, you do the record label thing, we'll get behind it, you know, learn all the tricks of the trade, the printers, mastering. We didn't master, you had to take it to a proper mastering place, you know, to get it mastered and stuff. So what happened whilst I was doing all the session stuff, all the big bands and stuff, my career was beginning to take off.
Okay.
So after we put Be My Lady out, Be My Lady got into the Black Echoes charts at the time.
Right.
And I was starting to get requests to do shows, you know, at places like Podium in South London. And which meant it would clash with some of the shows I had to do with the Chosen Few and Pioneers. And eventually I said, look, lads, you know, I'm doing my own thing now. I'm getting bookings for my own shows, so I might have to leave the band and stuff, you know. And they gave me all their blessings and stuff. Okay, Peter, you know, bless you, man. You know what I mean? How good bass, man. You've always been good with us and stuff, and you know.
Because that's one thing that is one thing I must admit that I've heard that I haven't heard. Because when you're backstage and stuff, you hear a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean? You hear people talk. It's just human nature to talk. And your name is quite clean, Peter. Your name quite clean. Your name quite clean, blood.
I'm very, very sure there's a lot of people who want to stick the boot in every now and again. Trust you me, it's the nature of people, you know what I mean? Yeah, Peter Hunnigale, you know, love Podium, big people place, yeah, for sure. Carolyn Samuda Simmons, yeah, bless you, Carolyn. Yeah, I just try to live with people. You know, you can't make everyone happy, and no matter how good you are, you're still gonna get people who give you a little want to give you a kick in the rib every now and again and stuff.
I hear that.
But I think what you got to do, you got to take away yourself. You know what I mean? You got to kind of take away yourself and try and be level-headed about it. You know, don't you got your path you've got to be on. So just concern yourself with that. You know, as long as no one don't try and, you know what I mean, transgress and want to violate you in any direct way, you know, you just keep moving on, you know what I mean? I mean, you're not going to like everything you hear and see out there with anything you do, you know what I mean? Whether it be a film, to music, people, whatever, or your environment you live in even, you know what I mean? You're not going to be happy with everything. So we have to take that on board, you know? So just live and just be nice, as, you know, as my brother, bigger brother would have said, just be nice, man. That's cool.
Because you mentioned Podium. I mean, Podium seems to have played a major role or a kickoff point for a lot of artists.
Correct. I'm gonna sneeze. I wanted to sneeze. Sorry, I should have a tissue around here somewhere.
No,
but
man,
yes, correct.
Podium
was a venue, right, in Vauxhall, a plush venue. You know, and many of my earlier performances was at Podium, you know what I mean? And like Carolyn said, you know what I mean? It was a nice plush environment, you know, a stage up from what, you know, the community was used to in terms of going out and performing at a venue.
Yeah.
And it was so sad when Podium ended, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's another important stage in my career coming through. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's funny enough. It's where I met Charles Tomlins. It's where I met Angela Marr. It's where I met Commander B.
Yeah.
You know, and it was before the 291, which was before we actually got any kind of like TV exposure and stuff like that was happening. Because before that, everything was very much underground, so to speak.
Yeah.
But the beauty of this interview is that we are not even halfway through. All right, we're not even halfway through, but we have done an hour. Okay, and I know it seems like it's just gone whap, just like that. So quick. So, but what I'm gonna do is, I do have a clip of you performing down in Brixton, in Jazz Cafe, not Jazz Cafe, in Down Crystal Palace side, Streatham, bottom of Streatham there. Right, which I'm gonna play towards the end of Streatham. Towards
If
the end
you're
of
a youngster, you call it Streatham. If you're uptown Streatham, say St. Rethams, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna play to close out the show.
Okay.
So what I'm gonna ask people to do.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Hideaway.
Yeah, in Hideaway.
Yeah,
so
it's
what I'm
no
gonna
longer there no more. It's gone.
Yeah, but what I'm gonna ask people to do is to if there are any questions that they want to ask you, to ask you now, yeah, put them in the comment section, and then I'll put them forward to Peter, because the interview has come to an end, basically. One second. Hello.
Yeah, Ian, Mom's car lights.
All right, cheers, bro. Which I'm gonna have to draw towards an end. So if you guys have got any questions that you'd like to ask Peter, ask them now. All right, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes, because I know you lot have been chatting the whole way through. And the brilliant thing about Peter is that he's been addressing every question as we've been going throughout this interview. And not many, you know what? Not many of my interviewers, people that I've interviewed, have been able to do that. You know, they've struggled with the interaction, being able to interact all at the same time. And at the same time, you would pull the interview back to the question that was originally asked.
Yeah.
Which tells us, as George would say, is that you've served your musical apprenticeship. You've done it, and you've done it well. And there is so much more that I would like to talk to you about, which is like the digital age, the destruction of the black reggae industry as a whole. You know what I mean? The reggae fraternity and all of that. But I hope that we can do that maybe in season 3 or season 4.
Yeah, man, that'd be a pleasure, you know.
If you can give me the time.
Yeah.
So the questions are starting to come in now. Are you going to be at the Lovers Rock concert?
Yeah, Carolyn. So Carolyn. Yeah, I think the schedule. I think what you're asking about is a Giants of Lovers Rock. Yeah, concert at the O2. Yes, correct. We should be there. And I think they're trying to put it all together now, Carolyn. So keep our fingers crossed. We'll still be able to do that event. Yeah, so we're scheduled to be there this year. For sure. Okay, Lloyd, bless your heart. What do you think of reggae in Jamaica to UK in these times? Right, Lloyd, you're entering the politics zone, right? And I say that, bless your heart, brilliant question. Jamaica has suffered in terms of some of the I love Jamaican music. I love the musicianship. I love the engineers. I love their perception of sound, you know, from the mastering and everything. But a lot of those great people have either passed away, sadly, or they're legends are greater in age now. So that sound we used to get from Jamaica, what we all loved, is no longer there. So I speak to some of my colleagues and we have the same discussion. What do we think about Jamaica, reggae coming from Jamaica today? And many of them would say, it's not reggae, Peter. It's not reggae. It's either like a Afrobeat based R&B type of rhythm. And the only thing reggae about it is the actual dialect from the person's, the artist's mouth. So you can tell a Jamaican artist, the way all them twang things, whether it be, you know, a female or whether it be male, you can hear the Jamaicanness in their voice. And this is what people perceive as reggae music. But the rhythm is something else these days. It's bashment-y, it's not your it's not that thing anymore. You know, in actual fact, that old school reggae where we love so much is now out of date. It's seen as out of date. But here in the UK, we still love that traditional reggae. And throughout the world, you know, a lot of people who know reggae from back when it was reggae still love that traditional reggae. But you know what we have now? We have new generations coming in who've never heard that reggae. The only reggae thing what they know as reggae is more what they hear today, bashment-y type of boom, boom, dun, dun, kind of dancehall beat. That them call reggae. You know what I mean? But to we, that's a subgenre of reggae, but it isn't the roots of reggae. So that's my thought. Senator Crew, what is the upcoming shows or album? So we've got shows coming through in August, pending on coronavirus restrictions and where we're able to do certain shows. I can't nail it at the head, and some of the shows are outside of London. So we're talking of Leeds. We can't do Leeds again at the moment. But there's Bournemouth, there's Coventry. We're supposed to be on location in those areas. But you have to keep your ear to the ground because the government restrictions, have put a lot of things in a different dynamic in terms of show. Albums, we've got tracks ready in the can to go, but I haven't got a plan for a release date for an album. But like I say, keep tuned, Senator, and and vibes will be coming through soon. We'll keep you up to speed with that. Yeah.
Excellent, man. And I think George is expressing something here that we all know. I think this is something that we all know.
Okay, what's this? Sorry, compare. Should have been as Maxi Priest. Maxi is my colleague. In actual fact, I just finished producing some of his stuff for him. We just finished doing that with him. Maxi is a total different thing. Maxi was enabled through a record company called 10, i.e., which was Canon from a guy called Erskine Thompson, who was an agent. He was like a conduit between, he was 1 foot in the pop world, 1 foot in the reggae world, and he could see talents like myself, Trevor Hartley and stuff like that, and what was happening on the community reggae scene, and say, look, I'm going to try and get you a deal with Virgin, I'm going to try and get you a deal with Island, I'm going to try and get you a deal with so and so, and how Maxi was made was through that effort. Maxi was signed to Virgin, well, subsidiary of Virgin Records, a label called 10, so he got that leg up. But Maxi is a very talented artist. He's a great writer, and I love the way he sings. I know, because I work on his stuff.
That is by the way, that is a fantastic question, and it is the area a lot more deeper that I wanted to go into with. You
need no matter what happened, what it is, Rudy. We all need the machinery of a record company. And if you're fortunate enough to get signed or supported by a record company, you're more than likely ready to go. It's just like Bob Marley and Island Records. You know what I mean? Don't forget you had Dennis Brown there. You see, if Dennis Brown was signed like he was signed to Island, that would come under the umbrella of a major record company with all the machinery in place. Dennis Brown would have been big like Bob. You know what I mean? It is.
This is what I mean. This is the other half of the interview that I was hoping we were going to have the time to go into, but everyone's going to have to wait until I get the opportunity to get you when you got the time to sit down and for us to do the second half of the interview.
So we're going to have to try and do that better.
So we've got somebody from in Bilbao in Spain. I love his music.
Oh, bless you, Tazo.
See, you've got all these people who are coming in late. I tell you, I'm coming in late.
Tazo, I will email you. Tazio is a dedicated fan, and he's from Bilbao, and we have a story there to tell. We haven't actually met, but we go back a few years. Tazio is one of the international people who follow me, you know what I mean? And bless his heart, to see that is surprising for sure.
No, the net is a wonderul place. It's positivity and there's negativity flowing throughout it, you know what I mean? But then before we move on, sorry Pete, because I know them lot will keep you talking. I know what them lot are like, So what we've got here is the question that's been asked is, what are your social platforms, right? That people can actually follow you on.
Right. At the moment, I had my own website up. That's fact, the website is still there, but it's being rebuilt again. You know, the back end needs to be rebuilt again. So we're going through that. So there's no point in me telling you about the website at the moment. I've developed a YouTube channel, but you can't really speak to me on that. It's just the stuff that we're putting up from the past. So Facebook is there.
Can they get you on Facebook? They can get you on Facebook?
Yeah, what I'll do, I'll try my utmost best to stick on the Facebook thing because it is kind of difficult, you know.
Yeah, Peter don't bother with Facebook enough. Peter don't really bother.
You can't do the Facebook because I'd spend hours and hours on it. That's what it takes me away from the work, and you have to be dedicated. And yes, I have some people sometimes doing the Facebook for me, and they answer on behalf of me. Right. You know. So that's what happens, you know what I mean? But like I say, Carolyn, you know, hit me up on the Facebook and I'll try and look out and see if I can see some of the stuff.
You see what I mean? Send it to proof about paying overtime. Shut your mouth about paying overtime. Me not pay nobody no overtime. Me broke, you hear me? Me broke.
Bless your heart, Senator.
Carl has just stepped in from Wales.
That's it.
Carl.
Yes, Carl. Bless your heart, Carl. Yeah, we're due to come to Wales for sure. Bless your heart, Carl. Give me a link when you're ready. You don't know. You know the thing already. Yes, okay. King. Yeah,
so on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I have to bring this interview to a close, and I have to thank you for giving me your time, Peter. It's much appreciated.
Right. It's an honor.
You are a true king. You are a true king. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for Keep It Real for this season. We won't be back for another 3 weeks. But as I did promise you, you will be hearing more of Mr. Peter Hunningale. Peter, don't go, right? Just stick around.
Okay. Interactive chat show every Monday night, 8:30 p.m. with special guests and you, the audience. Comedy with Rudi Lickwood. This event is brought to you by Comedy Hotspot. Don't forget, keeping it real with Rudi Lickwood.
Well, Commander, I love you dearly, brother. I love you. Commander B, ladies and gentlemen, please. Commander B, love you dear. Love you dear. Love you dear. Listen, a few years ago. That don't mean my age, so don't go there. Right, don't? All right. A few years ago, right, down my yard. Well, I listen to little, because you know the youth people got their music when they talk, it ain't that deep blood and all them kind of things. Yeah, we all got children with something, it ain't that deep, fam, and all them things. They got all them talk and stuff. Right, anyway. So me down my yard, I go and take you into a little, the young people music on, all right. My niggas and my bitches and my hoes. Whoa. Hell no. Hell no, my sister. So I said, no, the youth never said that. And wait for the loop to come around again, and of course, my niggas and my bitches and my hoes. I said, no. That don't represent me. That don't represent my culture. That does not represent my people. So I had to write a song to readjust the balance, sitting on the fence still, because, you know, everybody's got different mind and mentality towards this. But, you know, like we saw the other day, I know some of you people saw the other day on Channel 5, that this thing, gangland business. And I'm sure black and white people in this place in here tonight who saw that program, the ignorance is beyond belief, right? We saw the youths them, you know, and all I can say, we try hard, but sometimes there's them a malfunction. Yeah, they like malfunction. But there is a rule of thumb. I raise my children, not the police, not the government, not nobody. They're my responsibility. 1 minute. Janae and Tia. All right. But they were postgraduates now. Well done, and Tia. And Brother Aaron, I see you. Say one for your father-in-law now. Let me hear you. Say, yo. All right, then. Anyway, I wrote a song. And it's to do with not just a black issue, but for everybody in the house, black and white. Because it's not just the black kids them that's going astray, it's the white youth them too. It's all youths them, and we have to help save them. And we know, the youths them, we can't say they're not intelligent, but what they lack is experience. Yes? So therefore, we always have to be there for them. Anyway, done with the talk. Let me address the thing, asses. Don't it? Yes, I will address the thing. Yes, I. I don't appreciate you calling me nigga. and calling the ladies bitches and whores. Don't do it. I don't accept this kind of misrepresentation, especially when you know we've been there before. Listen, you can't expect to gain the respect of others, no, no, when it seems like you don't respect yourself. It seems like ignorance has clouded our vision. So instead we're busy hurting ourselves, yeah. Tell me where the black man's future lies. Oh, and what about the African teens who cry? Oh, tell me where the black man's future lies. Tell me where. And what about the African? Yes, mama. How can there be so much misunderstanding when black history gets people dying in the name of the ghetto, but without knowledge that don't make any sense. We all know that unity is the answer, but the way we treat ourselves is a shame. Because every day we face the very same problem, but the question is, will it ever change? Tell me where the black man's future lies. Oh, and what about the African tears who cry? Oh, tell me where the black man's future lies. Tell me where. And what about the African tears who cry? Tell me where the black man's future lies. Oh, yeah. We've got to change. Oh, we all know that unity is the answer, but the way we treat ourselves is a shame. Cause every day we face the very same problem, but the question is, will it ever change? Tell me where the black man's future lies. Oh, and what about the African tears who cry? Tell me where the black man's future lies. Oh, and what about the African tears who cry? Tell me where the black man's future lies. Tell me where the black man's future lies. Oh, tell me where the black man's future lies. Wanna know. And what about the African tears who cry? Tell me where the black man's future lies. 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 Something has to be said, you know, when it's it is we.
Real with
Thank you very much for tuning in with me. Remember, I do have season 3 coming up in 3 weeks' time. And before we go, let's properly say goodbye to Mr. Peter Hunnigale. Peter, thank you very much for your time.
It's been a pleasure, and everyone who's signed into the chat room, it's been a pleasure to link up with you and hear your comments and stuff. You know, it's like, how can I say? It's more than an interview. It's a really lovely experience. You know what I mean? I made up for the evening now. And thank you for all the people once again for coming in. You know, bless your hearts. And I'm going to be happy. You know, you guys invite me back again. I look forward to that. And thank you, Rudi, as well. You know, the platform is a great platform, and yeah, you know, I look forward to coming back again. Thank you to everyone and for their comments and everyone from Bill Bauer to the whole of the United Kingdom, everyone visiting them, coming, you know what I mean? Bless your heart. Thanks to everyone. Hopefully I'll see you all again.
All right, people. Okay, people, that's it. See you in 3 weeks' time.